Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Clarity Couch, where we break down life's tricky feelings and make them a little less overwhelming. Today we're talking about two emotions that often get confused: envy and jealousy. Joining me is Dr. Rachel Lynn, a psychologist who specializes in emotional intelligence and human behavior. Rachel, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and dive into this important topic.
All right, Rachel, I have to admit, I've always used envy and jealousy interchangeably. Are they really all that different?
They are. While they're closely related, they're actually quite distinct. Envy happens when you want something someone else has, whether that's success, material things, or even traits. On the other hand, jealousy comes into play when you feel like you're about to lose something you already have.
So envy is about wanting, and jealousy is more about protecting what you've got.
Exactly. Envy is like longing for greener grass on someone else's lawn, while jealousy is guarding your patch of grass from someone you think is encroaching.
Let's start with envy. What's a good example to help people understand how it shows up?
All right, imagine you're at work, and a colleague gets recognized for an achievement. Maybe they land a promotion or receive public praise from your manager. Even if you're happy for them, you might feel a twinge of envy because you wish you were in their position.
Oh, for sure. It's that mix of I'm glad for you, but also, I wanted that for me.
Exactly. Envy is focused on what someone else has that you desire. It can be motivating. It pushes you to work harder. But if left unchecked, it can turn into resentment.
Now let's talk jealousy. You mentioned it's about protecting what you already have. So how does that look in, say, a workplace or social setting?
Great question. Let's take a workplace example. Imagine you're a team lead and a new hire joins your team. This person is super skilled and starts building strong relationships with your manager. You might start feeling uneasy, thinking, what if this person overshadows me or takes my role? That's jealousy. It's rooted in the fear of losing your position or status.
Oh, that's so relatable. It's not about wanting something new. It's about holding on to your spot in the hierarchy.
Exactly. Or let's take a social group example. Say you've always been the go-to organizer among your friends, the one everyone turns to for plans or advice. Then a new friend joins the group and suddenly becomes the center of attention. You might feel jealous because you're afraid of losing your unique role within the group.
I love that example. It's like, hey, I've been the leader here. Don't take my spotlight.
Right. Jealousy often shows up when there's a perceived threat to something you value, whether that's your role, status, or even a special connection with someone.
This might be a curveball, but can you feel envy and jealousy at the same time?
Absolutely. And it happens more often than you'd think. Let's say a close colleague of yours gets promoted to a higher position, one you were eyeing. You might feel envious of their success because you wanted that role. But at the same time, you might feel jealous if their new position means they're now closer to upper management, potentially overshadowing your influence.
Wow, so it's like a double emotional whammy. That must be tough to deal with.
It can be, but identifying whether it's envy, jealousy, or both is the first step to handling it effectively. Envy and jealousy.
Okay, so what can people do to manage these feelings in a healthy way, especially in scenarios like the ones you just described?
For envy, it's all about focusing inward. Instead of comparing yourself to others, use that feeling as a cue to set new goals or improve your skills. Ask yourself, what steps can I take to achieve something similar? For jealousy, self-awareness is key. Ask yourself, is this threat real or am I projecting my own insecurities? If it's a workplace issue, consider having an honest conversation with your manager or team member to address your concerns.
So envy can drive growth, while jealousy requires reflection and maybe even communication.
Exactly. Both emotions are normal, but they don't have to control you. You can use them as tools to understand yourself better.
Rachel, this has been such an enlightening conversation. Any final words for our listeners?
Just this. Emotions like envy and jealousy are part of being human. They're not inherently bad. They're just signals. If you take the time to understand what they're telling you, you can turn them into opportunities for growth and stronger connections.
That's such a great takeaway. Thank you so much, Rachel, for joining us today and sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone, that's it for today's episode of the Clarity Couch. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care and stay curious.
Two sides of the heart, pushing me